Hey everybody, welcome to the debate team. Today we're discussing Jurgen Klinsmann. The German legend was just announced to be an analyst for ESPN at the World Cup, and in a conference call earlier this week, he made some controversial remarks regarding the United States and a lack of identity in U.S. soccer. Let me just read the quote first before we get to it, guys. U.S. soccer so far hasn't found their real identity regarding how U.S. soccer should be played. I'm talking about a philosophy, a style of play that kind of marks every nation. If you talk about Brazilian soccer, you know what you're talking about. About Argentine, the passing game. Everybody represents a specific style of play. I think in this country here, you're not there yet. Jaime, you have a smirk on your face there. What are your thoughts?
Basically, I think he was being diplomatic. What he's trying to say is that U.S. doesn't play an attractive style of football. He was renowned for that. The German team in his generation was renowned for that. And he's basically saying in the nicest way possible that U.S. soccer isn't a very attractive form of soccer.
So they're just not a good team, basically. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah. This goes into the debate of, do you need to be playing attractive soccer or do you need to win like Inter Milan?
Do you need a style? Do you need a style? Inter Milan, they went to Barcelona, they closed shop. But in Milan, they scored 3 goals.
But one of them was offsides.
Do they have an identity crisis? Do they have an identity crisis? No, you play according to the situation. You play according to the players you have.
Yeah, that said, the United States, we play much different teams. We play England and Germany and Italy in one tournament, and we play Mexico, Honduras, and Panama in another. We don't need to play all of those teams the same way.
And I actually think that is our style, is the ability to adapt our style to
Every
whom we're playing
good
against.
country adapts, but there's always a basic philosophy. Like Spain, they don't play the same way against every team, but it's always an attack-minded philosophy. That's what they do. They attack. They score
What do you
goals.
see as the United States philosophy then?
Basically, defend, counterattack. That's what they have. I mean, for me, so you made the point of Mourinho. For me, Mourinho, I'm not disappointed. He's like one of the best, probably the best coach in the world. But he has guys like Eto'o, Diego Milito, Schneider. It's a little, for me, it's anti-football to defend, regardless of whether it's the Camp Nou, when you have players like that in attack. Now, the U.S. is a different story. You're in the World Cup and you have limited options. So there, it's different.
But why do you need to have a style? That's my point. Why does a country from the youth level on up have to have a style?
Because it's your identity.
But you play with the players you have. The U17s, the U.S. U17s.
So what is the United States identity, let's say, right? I mean, if you're saying that, he's talking about a philosophy that kind of marks every nation. What is this nation about that can be displayed in soccer? I mean, if you ask me, it's about a mix of styles.
Right.
That's the
We
whole point,
bring in all different styles of players, and we bring in, when Freddie Adu comes, he has a different style than, a guy like Clint Dempsey who grew up in Texas, and Landon Donovan who grew up in Southern California. We're a huge country that just has pockets where guys develop their game and they develop different kinds of games. Our style of play, or our national team, what it needs to do is find a way that can mix all of those and become successful with it.
And is that what Klinsmann is saying also, though? Is he saying that we haven't done a good job of mixing it yet?
But I think that stuff is overstated. The whole style, mixing styles. There's a lot of countries where players have different styles. You have a player. Let's look at the players. Some play in one way, others play another. Some have speed, some have technique. So the fact that he wants to compartmentalize countries, that bothers me. What kind of analysis are we going to get out of Klinsmann if he has to define a style for each country? It's not that easy.
Well, I don't think he's saying that a style is rigid and you have to play such and such way. He's just saying that some countries are identified by a certain style of soccer. Brazil, I know we've discussed in the past, it's Jogo Bonito. Maybe they're not 100% Jogo Bonito, but that's what they're identified.
Well, it's Jogo. Yes, they're identified with that, and I would say that there are reputations out there for certain countries that this is how that kind of thing works. But to me, the Jogo Bonito is being played within an organization or a structure. I mean, Brazil defensively is incredibly organized and always has been, really.
Sure. What comes first, though, success or your style of play? I mean, these teams that we know teams have style of play. Brazil has a style of play, and England has a style of play.
Neither of them.
Italy has a style of play.
None of
those. But they've been around and they've been successful for years. So did they have that style of play and that's why they were successful? Yeah. Or were they successful and people looked at them and pointed and said, oh, well, they played this way or that way?
They became successful and they said, oh, this style works, so let's adapt this style. No, they had a style, they had an identity, and they put it into practice, and that's why England has a World Cup. That's why Brazil has 5 World Cups. Cups, and that's
England
why U.S.
has a World
none.
Cup in 1966, and what have they done since then? What have they done in the modern ages? What has that style gotten them? Nothing. So,
they made
you know,
the
is it going to be
What
the
have they done?
answer
I mean,
for us?
if you ask me about England especially, right, what have they done? They've changed their style. They are no longer the English team they used to be. Now they have a guy like Lampard. They have Gerrard. They have Rooney. They're trying to get skilled guys.
Well, then they shouldn't have hired Capello, but that's a different story.
Well, we'll let Jurgen Klinsmann actually have the final word in this. He actually went on to say, what style should represent United States soccer? I think that is a key component to what all is going on in South Africa. In other words, Jurgen Klinsmann, ESPN analyst, thinks that South Africa might end up defining the style for the United States. Tell us what you think about the style here or the debate team. Anything else you got at thedaily@mlssoccer.com. That's it, and we'll be back for another debate team soon.
Jaime, it depends on the players. You have cut to the chase.
It depends on the players.
Cut
You know
to
what
the
I'm saying?
chase. It depends on the
It's all a
players.
generational thing. Some generations like the Dutch. Some generations are the better
The
than
Dutch
others.
is a great example. They have this style, but they're not out winning World Cups every year. Their success
There's
in the
only
late
a handful
80s.
of teams that win World Cups. It is nothing. Winning a World Cup is such a crazy goal.
Okay,
Because
but think about all the other things the Dutch have not won.
Right. What I'm
they've
saying
won,
is,
they've
Won the European Championship when?
88.
88.
so 88.
So they're-
the
but they are
team that
always
has these
considered the
superstar
great
players.
But they are a great team. They just have
They are,
bad
but they
luck
aren't
and-
winning it. But they aren't winning it.
Okay, well, I like teams that play to win and not play not to lose. That's the main difference. That's the problem with soccer today. And that's where someone like, I'm not going to say Klinsmann, his team wasn't that great. 2002 Germany wasn't a great team.
2006.
2006. Sorry,
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, they made.
That's okay.
They had a good run.
2002 was better.
If I'm Bob Bradley, I'm upset that Klinsmann would come out and make this argument. Klinsmann, who's been in the United States for so long, who knows Bruce Arena,
Who was a candidate
who knows
for the
Bob
job.
Bradley, who almost got the job.
Right.
And
Well,
the way coaches should think is, this is the pool of players I have. This is what I have to do to win against a specific opponent.
Yeah,
this
right.
whole style stuff, it's overrated. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It does not matter.